Hey guys, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. Couple of movie and graphic novel suggestions. Starting off with Surf Nazis Must Die. This is an absolute gem from Trauma Studios, and it is set in the not too distant future where a earthquake has caused the beaches in California to become a war zone, with the different surfing fractions battling for control of the beaches, and they all live in fear and dread of the surf Nazis. Unfortunately for the surf Nazis, they end up killing Leroy, the son of Mama Washington, who ain't taking no shit. This movie is great fun. A bit bizarre because it goes from absolute schlock to kind of art house kind of feel for it. I think the director, Peter George, was obviously a fan of Clockwork Orange, because you do kind of get a Clockwork Orange feel. Also, the soundtrack is amazing. I'm just going to check it. John McCallan done the soundtrack, and it is awesome. It is a very kind of synth, vibey, experimental kind of tunes, and yeah, it's great fun. Trauma kind of really shoved out a gem in this one, and if you're a fan of schlock and trauma cinema, this is definitely one to check out. Next up, we have Waxwork. I adore this movie. It is very silly, but it's pretty cool. It is about a small town that is plagued by a wax museum that appears out of nowhere one day. And you have Zach Galligan and his friends who are trying to get to the bottom of this mysterious Waxworks museum, and they have to deal with the nefarious owner, played amazingly by David Warner. The cool thing about this is it kind of dips in and out of different genres. See, every exhibit captures the soul, or takes the soul, or pulls a person into the exhibit. So like there's one where it's a werewolf kind of exhibit. One of the characters is pulled into the scenario and killed by a werewolf. There's another one involving zombies, and there's another one involving vampires. Really good fun. The ending is a bit silly, but by and large, if you like your schlocky kind of silly horror, this is definitely one to check out. Really enjoy it, and David Warner chews fucking scenery in this movie. If you get a chance, definitely check out Waxwork. Next up, we have the sleeper hit, which I really enjoyed. I finally picked it up and got to watch it. The Upgrade. Logan Marshall Hall plays a mechanic in the future who is paralyzed, and his girlfriend is murdered by a bunch of thugs. He is given an experimental cybernetic implant called STEM that allows him to not only regain the function of his body, but also gives him superhuman abilities. If you're a fan of the likes of Total Recall or Robocop, this is definitely one to check out. The violence is gory, the sci-fi is really out there, and while I wasn't a fan of him in Prometheus, Logan Marshall Hall gives a really good performance in this. So if you get a chance, check it out. And one, if you want to watch a movie with your kids, I highly recommend Kuba and the Two Strings. I'm going to try and pronounce it. Laika, I think that's the name of the studios who produces it. It's basically from the creators of Coraline and the Box Trolls. And if you are a fan of kind of Henry Selick's other stuff, this is definitely a nice addition. It's much more lighthearted and interesting. There are some dark elements in it, but it is something that younger kids could watch. Essentially, this young boy called Kuba has to flee his village because he uses kind of origami to tell stories, and as a result he ends up summoning a very malvoyant demon, and he's joined on his journey by a couple of different characters. You have a monkey, I think voiced by Charlize Theron, and you have this kind of beetle warrior. I think it's Art Parkinson that voices him, or maybe Matthew McConaughey. I could be totally wrong. It's been a while since I watched it, but I'm gonna rewatch this again. But it is really good fun, really great heart, and the animation is pretty cool. So if you want something to watch with the smaller people in your life, definitely check this one out. And lastly, a graphic novel selection, a graphic novel suggestion: Predator: The Hunters 2. This follows up from the last Predator: The Hunters comic, where we see the team from the last story ending up in Afghanistan, and they're tracking down a predator that's preying on both members of the Taliban and also US forces. This has a very personal kind of fight or conflict for one of the members, Swain, because his unit was ambushed by the very same Predator when he was part of I think, Operation Endurance. So the team with Nikage and Mandy from the other Predator comics are essentially not only dealing with this renegade Predator, but they also have to deal with Stargazer forces. Yes, Stargazer from the Predator turns up, and this unit is trying to capture the Predator. So it's a race against time between this unit and the heroes of the Hunter story to try and eliminate the Predator before it's captured and its technology is used. Chris Warner actually tells a very compelling story. Not only does it kind of focus on the hunt for the Predator, but also the plight of the people in Afghanistan. And the artwork is actually pretty amazing. There's some really, really cool pieces of artwork in this comic. The artist was Augustin Padilla. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but I just really like the way he has drawn the Predator in this. It's really menacing and dangerous, and you kind of get the feeling this Predator's been out here a long time and he's gone kind of native. But yeah, by and large, really cool graphic novel. If you get a good chance, check it out. One last thing, I know I haven't been on much, guys. To be honest, I just find it really hard to do videos lately because I am so busy with work, and I'm trying to divide my time between work and chilling with my girlfriend. I don't get to see Neve half as much as I'd like to, and work is down to that. I do love doing this stuff. I'm not doing it as like a form of income or anything. It's more of a hobby. So I have to kind of prioritize what I do, and Neve is on the top of those priorities. So if I haven't been on a lot, I apologize for that. And if you guys want to leave the channel, to unsubscribe or whatever, I don't hold it against you. Again, I'm not doing this for views or revenue or anything. I'm doing it for myself. It is a hobby. But if you do choose to stay, I really appreciate that. Guys, I'm so sorry that my kind of content has been kind of lacking and slow lately. You'll probably notice I'm reviewing a lot of action figures. And again, that comes back to just me being at work and me not getting to see as many movies as I'd like. And it's not just that I don't have the time, it's just I don't have the energy either. Sometimes I just want to go home and chill with a book, or sometimes I just want to relax and watch something silly or kind of interesting on YouTube. I find sometimes that to sit down and watch a movie, you got to put a bit of concentration into it. And I feel if I didn't put my all into watching the movie and reviewing the movie, then I'd half-ass the review. Not that my reviews are that in depth, but I just don't think I'd be given a very fair kind of rundown of the movie. But again, sorry my content hasn't been kind of up to snuff a lot lately. It's just finding the time, and I have to prioritize other things, and Neve is one of those things I do need to prioritize. So if you have stuck around to sub and watch my videos, I really appreciate that. And if you've left because like I've kind of reviewed action figures and stuff, I don't hold that against you. I probably I'm thinking about maybe changing the name from the Trash Picture Show because I'm doing a lot of action figures. That said, I do like the name, but what do you guys think? Do you think I should keep the name? Or do you think I should change it? And how do you feel about me reviewing action figures and not having as much content? If you have any thoughts about that, leave them in the comments below. Or if you have any thoughts on the movies I reviewed or the Predator graphic novel, any questions about it, leave them in the comments below. My name is Martin. This has been the Trash Picture Show. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.